Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to work on yet another video, and this video is going to be similar to what we have done previously in one of the Python video. So in one of that previous video, which you can see here, is this one, kilometers to miles. So this one. So on this one I didn't create any code. I used ChatGPT to showcase how we can use it and whether it is fully functional code written library or not. So that was some other discussion, and in that video itself I said that we will try something with Java also. So in this video we are going to work on a simpler project with Spring Boot, H2, JPA, Hibernate and Thymeleaf. Let's not do Thymeleaf, but let's do RESTful application. So what we are going to do is we are going to do everything through ChatGPT. We are not going to write anything from ourselves, and we are going to see whether ChatGPT is working accurately or not. If in case we have to edit something, we will do that, but this is just a demonstration, right? So before we work on that, if you are new to my channel, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel yet, please do. It doesn't take a minute to click on that red colored subscribe button. Please do that. And now let's work on this code. Alright, so the obvious thing is going to be to just open your ChatGPT. So if you don't know, if you haven't worked on ChatGPT yet, this pretty much looks like this, and whatever you type here, it is going to respond with that. So let's just work on it. So please provide me the code for a simple RESTful appointment system using Spring Boot, and let's do 3 JPA, H2 and S2. So please provide me with the code for a simple RESTful appointment system using Spring Boot 3 JPA and S2. Yeah. So it is not going to give me the fully fledged application which I can download as a zip and then extract it. It is going to give me a simple code which I'm seeing here. So meanwhile it is doing that, let's go to your Spring initializer, and yeah, it's generating a lot of code. So here we are going to go with Maven, and let's do appointment system, and let's see if we have pom.xml here. So we don't have pom.xml, I think. So let's ask ChatGPT this. Please provide pom.xml to run the above application. Again, please emphasize on this basic word. So it is using Spring Boot 2.5 even when I have explicitly said that use Spring 3, and that's bad. Let's see if it is going to change this a bit. Using Spring Boot version 3. Yeah, so okay, so Spring Boot 3 hasn't released yet for ChatGPT. So okay, so what do we need? We need Spring Web, we need JPA and H2 dependency, right? Nothing else. Okay, that's good. So web and H2, last is your JPA. So let's just generate this, extract this and import it to your IDE. Okay, let's do DevTools also. That we will require. So generate. Alright, so importing my Maven project. So it's this one, appointment system, select and finish. Alright, so let's start with application.properties. So let's go up. So this we can copy. Alright, so paste everything here. Oh, alright, so let's talk about this. So this is your data source URL, which means that you are using JDBC type connector, and the database type is your S2. It could be MySQL, Oracle. This is in-memory database, and the database name is TestDB. Now we have driver class name, which is for your specifically for your S2 database. These are some by default functionality, right? So you can choose any password here. Whatever password you will choose, that will be prompted also while you are running the application. And this is for your JPA, and if you want to enable the console, that yeah, you can do that, but I think this is not mandatory anymore. If you even remove this line, this is going to work. Alright, so application properties is there. Now what else? Go up. So we need to define an entity, which is your appointment. So let's copy this, and in Java let's create a new package. So this is going to be your entity and appointment. Okay, let's paste everything here. Okay, so these imports are from your Springboot 2, which is not going to work anymore. So need to change this a bit. So this is going to be Jakarta now. So that's that. Alright, so even we got getters and setters, but I think we would need a constructor also. So let's wait for now. We will see if we get any error. Alright, moving on. We have this appointment repository. So let's create another. Let me refresh this. Okay, this looks good now. Now let's create a repo. So new, this is going to be interface, sorry. New interface. Here let's do repo, and this is going to be our appointment repo. Now let's replace this with this, and we don't have appointment right now, and that's okay. Rename file to repository. Alrighty. Okay, we have appointment. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, what else? We need this appointment controller. Let's copy this. Alrighty, so we just need to do few imports, and it looks good. Now what does it say? We can run this code, and here we can see our S2 database and the REST API endpoint at appointment. So we have only one mapping given to us, right? We don't have these mappings. So let's ask, give me a list of REST endpoint web calls to make along with example. Alright, so now I have something. Okay, so let's run our application. Alright, so as I can see, application not started. Now what were the mappings? So let's start with our appointments mapping, this one post, right? So let's do this first. So this is going to be a post mapping, pasting the URL, going to body, raw, and let's copy this and paste it here, then send it. Alright, so I got 200 OK message, which looks good, and I got the ID back, which should be in the database. Now let's try this get mapping. So let's copy this, pasting the URL, send. Alright, so I got the response and I even got the instance. Okay, that's good. Now let's try to get the appointment by ID. So copy this, send. Alright, so I got the response, and this is not a list, this is a simple object. Here we got an error, right? So this is good. Now last is your delete. So okay, we have update also. So first let's try update. So update is your put. And what's changed? So we have, I think date is changed. So we had 2024 14/4, which is today's date, but now it is moved to next date. Okay, that's okay. So let's copy this, going to body, raw, and paste everything here, send. Okay, we got the response back with the updated date. That's good. Now let's try to delete this. So copying this, delete, paste, send. So we got the 200. Okay, we didn't got anything back, but what we can do is first we can try to see the list if we have anything here or not. So we didn't got anything, but we got 200. Okay, now let's try to fetch using ID. Let's see. So we got appointment not found with ID. We didn't got any message, but we got something back, right? So that's good. It means that every functionality that we have in our controller is working. So let's understand what the code means here. So we created a appointment repository, which is using your JPA repository, which supports CRUD operations, which is your basic create, read, update, delete operations. In appointment we have only two parameters, which is your date, time, and description. So these are the only two things which you are going to save per appointment. Coming back to your controller, here we have the main logic. So in our get all appointments, we are using the find all method, which is going to get a list of appointment, which is ultimately going to have everything whatever you have saved in your database. Talking about create appointment, we are creating a new appointment with the URI this appointment, and this is using same method again. For update also we use save method, so there is no change. Get mapping using an ID, we have another method, find by ID. If this ID is not there, in that case we are throwing an exception. So we shouldn't throw an exception, rather we should respond back with a message saying that this ID could not be found. But here if you see, we got an exception. So this is not a bad practice, but it is not recommended. Now put mapping, here we have ID which is coming through your URI. Same for your get mapping. Then we have this appointment details, so whatever you have provided in the JSON format coming here, similarly what you are getting in your post mapping here. Now first thing first is it tries to fetch everything up from your database. If it doesn't, then it throws an error. Otherwise it get everything whatever is there in your database. Then it set everything up whatever you have provided with this mapping. Then it saves, which means it updates in the database. For delete, it simply deletes. So this is good. This is not bad at all. But let's see if we can improvise this a bit or not. So what should we do now is update appointment controller class with proper responses to user. Okay. Okay, so in this updated version we use response entity to wrap the responses, allowing us to control the HTTP status code and response bodies more precisely. So for get request they are using OK, for post they are using created, for put again OK, for delete no content. So again, not bad at all. This is working, I think, really good. So what we can do is we can copy this entirely and replace it. Alright, so do we see any error? We don't. That's okay. Let's save this. Alright, so our application is started again. So let's guess if we should be able to see any data or not. So we won't. Why would we deleted everything, right? So we have everything with us, as in we have every mappings with us. So let's recreate everything. Let's see if there is any change or not. So we had this post mapping. I'm going to send it again. Now there is no change, rather we just got this 201 created instead of 200. Okay, right? Now coming back to get mapping, send. So here again there is no change. This is exactly similar to what we had before. Now here appointment 1. So we got everything exactly similar to what we had before. Now this put 1. So we got 200 OK again here, no change at all. Now send this. So for delete we got 204 no content. So let's ask ChatGPT. Why do we have no content response entity for delete mapping? Now if you are wondering why we got this 204 no content in your delete mapping, right, this could be unusual for some of you. So here if you see HTTP delete method is typically used to delete a resource, blah blah. When a resource is successfully deleted, it's common practice to respond with the status code 204 no content. This status code indicates that the request has been successfully processed, but there is no content to return, right? So it even specifies everything. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Now coming back to our check. Now let's send this again, your get mapping for the list of appointments. So you didn't get anything, you got 200. Okay, and here let's see if we are getting an exception. So again we got exception, so this is not good. So let's see what got changed in the code. So here we returned okay, which is not a big change. Again okay. So what we are doing is we are returning with the HTTP status code, but we are not actually returning a response message, which I asked specifically to ChatGPT. Let's see. Okay, response, I didn't ask that, so let's ask again. Response messages to user. Okay, now I see message here. Okay, this is good. Let's copy this and paste it here. Save this, wait for it to restart. So okay, so now let's go through with the code. So here you can see that when we are returning the status code created, here we are also passing a message appointment created with ID and the ID, and here we are saying appointment not found with ID, right? But here we are again throwing an exception for get. So this shouldn't be the case. For put mapping, again exception, but we are sending this appointment updated successfully. So yeah, this is 50% done, but 50% still. Why are we throwing exception back to user? Instead we should send proper error message. So here if you see, you are absolutely right. It's better to provide meaningful error messages to the user instead of throwing exception directly. Now it is making change. Okay, let me copy this, then I'll see what changed. So one thing I didn't like about this ChatGPT is that I have to scroll a lot, I have to wait, then I have to scroll up and down. It's not a big window, so it's better to copy the code and see it in IDE. Okay, let's see. So in your get mapping, if it is present, in that case we are returning back the object, else we are returning not found with the message. Okay, that's pretty good. Now for your put mapping, if it is present then this, otherwise we are doing not found. Okay, so I think yeah, it's looking very promising now. We can remove these imports, but that's okay. Now let me try. Right now we don't have any appointments right now, right? So if I send this now, so we see that appointment with ID 1 not present, and this is good, right? So here in the delete case also this should happen. Right, so this is good. Let me create an appointment again, and input we had a change, so let me send this. So appointment updated successfully. So here it is not returning me the entire object with this, rather it is saying this. So this is good. Now let's enhance this a bit, add few more functionalities to the application. let's see what it will add. So it is adding search appointment by description. This is really silly. Okay, filter appointment by date range, pagination, validation. Alright, so validation is good. So it added few more mappings, like in your search you will need find by description. I cannot go right. I'll copy this, then we see. So what did we got? So we got a change in appointment controller only, though we require a change in appointment repository also. So I think you forgot to update appointment repository interface. Okay, you are correct. Let's update. Alright, so let's make this change. So I need to copy from here. So at the very end, let's paste everything. So we are getting some error. Alright, so let's import. Alrighty, so we have everything, just we need these two methods, right? So let me save this and let me add these three. Alright, so in appointment controller, alright, so let's see. Yeah, the errors got fixed. Let's wait for it to restart. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the code. So for our first mapping search, we are getting description through your request param, and here we first check if appointments list is empty with this description. If it is empty, then we are responding back with not found. Otherwise, we are responding back with the list of appointments. In your filter, we have two parameters now. Start date, end date is empty. So same stuff. For your pagination, we have default value 0 to default value 10. Otherwise, we can provide the value. And then we have validate. So alright, so for validate, we have appointment object. We are checking if get date time and get description is not null. If it is not null, then we are going to save the appointment. Create appointment validation. Okay, I don't know if this makes sense. This validation should be done when we are doing your post mapping and your put mapping. I'll ask this question. Why do we have separate validate mapping? Instead, we should have validations in post and put mapping to save appointment. So again, you are absolutely right. Okay, so it's understanding what I'm trying to say. It's not like it is going to give you a fully fledged application from the start. You need to know about it. You need to know about the stuff that you're working on. Otherwise, it is just similarly whatever code you have seen in Stack Overflow or GitHub repository. if you don't understand it, right? Anyways, I want to see what it changed. So in post mapping create appointment, it added a valid annotation, and this valid annotation will not work with your Spring Boot 3. Okay, again not a problem. Then we have again valid here in your put mapping, and it removed that validate because it is redundant. Alrighty, so it's working. Okay, so let's try with this for now. Validate, and I'm just going to do something as null, so let me remove this entirely. Let's send. Alright, so we got date, time and description are required fields, but if I do this same thing without validate, will I get the same error message? No, we didn't. Okay, so it's working. I know it will work. Same you can try for paginated and filter. And what you can do is you can even ask, give me a sample web service call for, what is this, paginated. So here if you see, you need to provide this in your URI and it should work, right? So I'm going to try this. For the rest you can again ask ChatGPT, or you can simply just do it yourself. Alright, so this is the get request. Let's send this. So we got 200. Okay, we got just one, right? So this is how this is going to work. Similarly, you can ask a lot of things. I think just to summarize this, first, ChatGPT is a very good tool to use. Second, ChatGPT is not going to replace everything what a basic software developer do. Third is, if you are a software developer and if you are using ChatGPT, then it is going to enhance your functionality, your efficiency a lot more. What you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to make a change to your code, as in beautify your code, format your code, remove redundant code, make it more concise, stuff like that. So that it is obviously going to do. Now what it won't be able to do is, it won't be able to give you a fully fledged working application. If you ask a specific question, it is going to give you a specific answer. It's not like you are going to ask something and it is going to give you 200% more than you asked. So that is that. It is going to obviously help a lot, but again, I don't see any sense in using this if I have, let's say, GitHub repository to use sample code, or if I have Stack Overflow where I can ask my question to fix through your basic human interaction. It is not going to fix my errors for sure, but again, it is going to solve your basic problems, and it is going to make your life a lot easier, maybe 60-70% if you are a software developer. If you know your work, then you can use it to enhance it. Now I'm going to ask a basic simple question to ChatGPT. Let's say if it is going to respond back. So it's a very silly question, but let's see. The success of a YouTube, yeah, very standard answer. There is no guarantee. Quality content. I know ChatGPT cannot answer this question, but you can. So please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't take a long time to do that, and I will meet you in some another video. Till then, stay happy, keep learning, and bye bye.